What's going on, everybody? This is Preston here, and welcome back to another video. And in this video, I am going to be talking about my opinion on NASCAR's right now one of the most controversial drivers, and that's Ross Chastain. And yes, it is thunder and lightning out, and yes, it is Florida. So yeah, the thunder out there. That'll be a fun addition to this video. But anyways, Ross Chastain. I'm going to talk about my whole entire opinion on him, how my thoughts are on Ross Chastain, basically. So first off, let's get to the chase. First of all, Ross Chastain. I first wanted to like this guy because he's from my home state, Florida. I mean, you know, I like what he does with his celebrations. His wall ride move at Martinsville, phenomenal. Keep the bold moves. Like, Ross Chastain has made some bold moves where he takes a 3 wide up on the outside, clean passing. That is what I want to see more of from Ross Chastain. Not with the getting into it with other drivers stuff. Not with all the other driver stuff. So yeah, and if Ross Chastain could just keep the bold aggressive move like that, then fine, I would like that. I have no issues with his aggressive racing. It's just that he gets into it with so many drivers. At this point, he's probably not going to win the championship this year because of how many people he's gotten into this year. He's gotten into so many people in the last year or so. Like, literally over the last year, he's gotten into so many people, guys. And Ross Chastain, man, it was kind of like a complete embarrassment for almost a complete embarrassment for Ross Chastain yesterday in the Cup race. And Ross Chastain, man, just he's not Ross Chastain's not going to win a championship like this. He's not going to. And yeah, and Mother Nature again. So yeah, but I really want to like Ross Chastain in the first of last year, but I can't this year. I can't like Ross Chastain, guys. I just can't, guys. I can't like Ross Chastain. It's just I just don't like him, guys. I mean, he's just not one of those drivers I just really like. I mean, outside of the car, yes, but outside of the car, not off the track, seems fine. But on the track, when he gets on the helmet, he goes ballistic. Is an animal in the race car. That's how I find Ross Chastain. He's a complete animal in the race car. That's how I find Ross Chastain. And, you know, look, he worked so hard to get up to this level, and he deserves to be in the Cup Series. But over the past year, he's just been doing some stupid stuff getting into other drivers. And at this point, if he continues to go like this, he's not going to win a championship. And Ross Chastain needs to own it. He needs to say, hey, I'm an aggressive race car driver, and I get into it with people. Ross Chastain could have just said that. Instead, he goes, oh, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for everything. No, you're not. Like, Ross needs to own up to it and say, hey, I'm an aggressive race car driver. This is how I race. I would respect that more. But the thing is, he's not it's just a hack. Like Kyle Larson's team said, just a hack. Like that's kind of what Ross Chastain is at this point. He's not a hero or a villain. He's in the between, and he's like an idiot sometimes. Like, you know. Now, there's some things I like about Ross Chastain. His bold moves. If he can just keep the bold moves and the celebrations and kick out the aggressive, not and kick out the getting into it with other drivers, fine. That would be awesome. That would make me want to like Ross Chastain more. But it's the fact that he gets into it with other drivers constantly. That's the part where that really kind of makes me not want to like Ross Chastain. Now, I don't severely despise him, just not a big fan of Ross Chastain at this point. And he's been the main talk for like 4 weeks straight. 4 weeks straight. Talladega. I don't blame Ross Chastain for making that move, even though it was aggressive, but I mean, it was 3 wide, Noah Gragson came down. Dover, that was on Ross Chastain, 100%. Kansas, Noah Gragson fight. That fight with Noah Gragson. And then this weekend with rubbing up into Kyle Larson. And on the radio for Darlington this weekend, he knew that he and Larson were completely like even. But Ross Chastain in his interview at the infield care center said, "I just sent in there deep, sent it in there full send it, and got tight and went up into Larson, and I didn't want either of me and him to get wrecked." Like, dude, what do you think was gonna happen? What did you think was gonna happen? So yeah, so Ross Chastain, and this isn't, and again, this is definitely not the first time he's gotten into this with other drivers. In the Xfinity Series back in 2018, once Ross Chastain got in the wall by Kevin Harvick, Ross Chastain basically intentionally turned Harvick around in that 98 car in the Xfinity Series, basically left rear hooked him, basically intentionally turned left and got in right rear hooked him, right rear hooked Kevin Harvick, which that was pretty stupid, honestly, of what Ross did there. And listen, I'm not saying, listen, Ross Chastain, man, if he can just own up to what he's doing, and look, dude, Ross Chastain he's unavoidable at this point. He can't help himself. He always has to get into something with other drivers at this point. And at this point, Ross Chastain, I mean, I get why he's fun to watch at times, but to me, it's just getting annoying and irritating at this point. Like, and Ross Chastain, he's not Dale Earnhardt. Not at all. I don't get why people are comparing him to Dale Earnhardt. I do not understand that. Sure, his aggressive driving style, true, but he doesn't own up to the fact. He doesn't own it up. Now, Dale Earnhardt Sr., he does own it up. So I don't get why people are comparing it to that. That's the thing. But Ross Chastain, man, he's just getting annoying for me at this point. Someone has to pay back the guy. Someone has to pay back Ross Chastain at this point. I want to see Ross Chastain get payback in a big way. Please. I don't want, and the thing is, Ross Chastain, I feel like he keeps getting away with everything. Like, he got away, basically gets away with everything at this point. And I do not want that to happen. So, yeah. And again, there's some things I like about Ross Chastain. Sometimes he makes that wall ride move last year. That was cool. The celebration where he smashes the watermelon. That is cool as well. But it's just the part where he just gets into it with other drivers over and 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 over again. And he doesn't even care. He doesn't even he doesn't even own up to it. He says he's sorry multiple times, but yet continues to do the same thing constantly. You see a pattern of what I'm trying to say here. So the dude just needs to listen. He deserves this Cup Series ride. He deserves this. He's a very talented race car driver, and he just needs to make better choices. He needs to think better in the race car, not go all wild and ballistic animals. That's where Ross Chastain is. He's like can be a wild animal on the racetrack. That's just how I feel and about Ross Chastain at this point, guys. So yeah, and again, like I said about the Darlington interview that he had, he said he was going to full send it and got tight and ran up into Larson and didn't want them to get wrecked. But yeah, what would you expect to happen? What would you expect to happen? Like, dude, what would you expect? What would you even expect to happen? So yeah, guys, yeah, and again, I do feel bad for Kyle Larson, man. I mean, he should have finished in the top 10 at least, but Ross Chastain made a move that was never going to work. Full send it in at Darlington and went up. That's not going to work. He cost him and Larson's race. And I think he said he wrecked himself. And Ross Chastain, I feel like he's just not owning up to the things he does. And at this point, he's just getting annoying for me at this point. Getting very annoying for me. So, it's been 4 straight weeks that Ross Chastain's been talking about this, and I have to make this video about it, guys, because he's been a really main topic in NASCAR lately, and I want to speak my own opinion about it. So, yeah. So, yeah, guys, this is just my own opinion on Ross Chastain. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Let me know in the comments what's your take on Ross Chastain. My take, in conclusion, my take on Ross Chastain is he's an aggressive race car driver, and I respect that. He does make really aggressive moves, like the 3 wide, like going 3 wide stuff. That's the thing I would like to see more from Ross Chastain. And that wall ride, unfortunately, that's banned, but that was cool. It's just the part where he gets into it with other drivers constantly and not owning up to the things that he does. That's the part that's bothering me. That's that's doesn't doesn't like I don't like that much about Ross Chastain. It's because he does this stuff. He gets into it with other drivers and doesn't own up to the things he does, and needs to own up to it and say, "Hey, I'm an aggressive race car driver." As much as I don't like Joey Logano either, at least he says he's an aggressive race car driver. At least he does own up to it. So yeah. So yeah, this is just my opinion on this. This is just gonna be a raw video, and yeah, guys. So what's your take on Ross Chastain? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, this is Preston signing off. Peace out.